Hey guys. All right, so I'm outside because I have some beds that need amending, and you guys might need to amend some of yours as well. So I'm going to start by pulling out this compost, because that's really the first thing that I want to be adding to my beds before anything else, is the compost that I've already created. Now, I pulled out a couple of the logs already, but we're going to take this apart right now and dig into it and have a look at it. I peeked in here already to make sure it was good to go. It is great. I'm so happy that I'm going to be able to use this. And this is going to also help us in our beds. We're going to create some tea with a little bit of this as well. So let's pull some of this apart. I have a bucket here. Move that out of the way. I'm going to put this stuff to the side. And as you can see, I just kind of wove it together. We'll get all this to the bigger compost. All right, you can probably see the layers already in there. Hopefully you can see them. Hey, check it out. All right, so let's get in here a bit. So this is what you're looking for. This is compost. Oh my goodness, look at all those worms. I don't know if you guys can see, but those full of worms, that's what you want in your compost. That's what you want in your beds. That is what is feeding and going through everything, making their castings. And this is essentially, the worms have made this soil here. And there's lots of mulch in here. This top stuff I will have to put in the compost. I won't be able to use, but anything down here looks pretty good. The odd big piece. So this is great. This is perfect, especially with all these worms in here. That's what we're looking for. So I'm really happy with this. So what I'm going to do with this compost, this bottom layer here, first I'm going to take a little scoop out. We're going to make some tea. But I'm going to take all this apart, and I'm going to spread it in over there on the beds that I'm replanting my beans, because I didn't really amend it last year. So it needs a little bit of work, and that's the bed we're going to kind of work on together this week. And this is the start of it right here. Look at all these worms. Oh, I'm so happy to see bunches of worms everywhere I look. Look at them all. Look at this fat guy. So what I have here is I have a bucket, and I put in one of those shopping, fruit bags, just so the stuff I put in here, I can pull out and just have the tea. There's different setups you can create. This one's just the easiest one for me. I also put some eggshells in here already, and we're gonna take a scoop of this, and then we're gonna walk over to the other compost and get some really nasty stuff and put it in here. So look at this nice guy. He can stay in there. These nice worms. So we're just gonna really take a scoop of this right in the middle. Just gonna add it in there. This is super composted. This is all garden waste. Really nutritious and healthy. And it's not quite fully composted, but it's composted enough. Look at the size of these guys. Super happy to see that. So I'm gonna pick you guys up for a minute. We're gonna wander over to the other compost. So bear with me for just a minute, you guys. We'll walk together. Look it. We got a new greenhouse. The frame is up, but it was really windy when we did it, so we couldn't finish, unfortunately. So we're headed over here. This is the main compost that I'll be working on for this season. Let's see if I can put you down. All right. Now, the reason why I wanted to bring you over here is because this compost here is full of our kitchen scraps. It's full of tons of leaves that I put in from last year. And more importantly, it's got all kinds of rabbit scat in here. My daughter has a rabbit, and all her shavings and everything go in here. And this is perfect for composting. Now this one isn't ready yet. It needs a little bit of time, but there's all kinds of Hello. There's all kinds of microbes in there that we want, and I want to take out that super rich, super nutrient dense stuff at the bottom and put it into our little bucket. So let's do that together. Fun, eh, you guys? This is gardening. This is organic gardening, and this is how we get nutrients into our beds. So I already dug a hole out because I didn't want to be here for all day. But let's get in here. Make sure you have boots, gloves, and a lot of stuff at the bottom that's been here for a little while. I just really want a nice scoop of it. Put that in there. We also put all our old soil from our pots and everything in here, and really just all kinds of stuff. I want to fill that right up. Like I said, this is going to be a compost tea. I'm going to take some of the fresher stuff right here on the top. Nice and gross. So rabbits and llama, are the only fertilizer or the only manure that you can use fresh right away. But like I said, this has been composting down a little bit, but you can use it fresh. You can put it right in your beds because really it goes in and goes out for them. So it's not much of a difference before you feed it to them. So rabbits, llama, I'll look up, see if there's any more, but I think those are the only two you can use right away. But I still like to compost it because it works great by composting with my food scraps and the other things that I need to compost to get that ratio, that, that 4-to-1. So this right here, I'm going to fill it up a little bit more, and then I'm going to soak it with water, and I'm going to let it sit there until I come back on Thursday. And then we're going to drain it out, and all that water, all that juice, that tea in there, it's going to be a concentrated version. So we're going to be able to water it down, and I'm going to be able to add it to the beds that I need to, and it's right away going to jam-pack some nutrients in there and fertilize it before I even get in the bed. And that's how we're going to amend before we plant in the spring. Now there's going to be a couple other things I'm going to do, which I'll show you on Thursday. I don't want to stay out here too long. I don't know if you can see, but it's raining. I don't want all my equipment to get soaking wet. I didn't bring an umbrella. I don't have an umbrella stand. But I wanted to show you just compost and making a compost tea are two separate ways to amend your soil with the same material. And making the tea, like I said, it gives it this extra pack of nutrients. This is fertilizer we're making right here, homemade fertilizer. I hope you guys got a chance to get the ebook last week. I have some recipes in there. I put for the fresh grass clipping one and like this one as well, the compost one. So make these really simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to heap it up here, and then I'm going to cover it, but I'm not going to seal it. I'm going to let it have a little bit of air to it. And I'm just going to let it sit for a couple days. You could let it sit up to a week. I'm only going to let this sit for 2 days because I want to get it on the beds right away as soon as I can. I'm going to be planting in my beds where we're going to be doing this in about 4 to 5 weeks. So I have about 2 weeks to add this stuff now, and then we don't want to add anything until after the plants are in there. You don't want to compromise your plants by adding too much or too little of something. So it's best just to get them in after you've amended a little bit, and then you can fertilize as you need. So that's it, guys, for today. I'll come back on Thursday, probably the same time, because I would like to be able to do this in the afternoon, not in the evening. It's a little darker then anyway. So if you guys have any questions about making some kind of compost teas or just compost in general, we're going to be doing more compost talk over the next probably month or so. But this is just to get started, just to give you a quick boost of nutrients in your beds, especially if you didn't amend last fall. I did about 75% of my yard, except where we're going to do on Thursday with this compost tea and a couple other things. And that's where I'm going to put all my beans. So I want to make sure that they have the right nutrition. The soil should be a little more alkaline. Most of your vegetables, you want to be more alkaline than acidic. So that's what we're going for. And of course, I showed you guys in the ebook there how to do the simple pH test. So if you need to know if your soil is more acidic or alkaline, make sure you do that simple pH test. It's really easy. Baking soda, vinegar, a couple jars, a few minutes of your time. And if you guys need the science behind that, if you want to see the actual science, there's a fantastic video I can link to you. This lady from this university, she explains it all, very scientific, and it's really awesome. So let me know if you need the science behind it. Otherwise, check out the ebook. It's super simple. Like I said, we're trying to get a little more alkaline in our soil because most vegetables, about 85% of what we're planting, prefers that. So guys, get yourself out in your compost, get some gross stuff in a bucket. Remember, you do want to strain it if you can, or if you have a bucket with a nozzle here. I don't want to get the bits in there. I'm going to put that right back in the compost. But I want the tea. We're creating a concentrate from this nasty stuff. And I'm not making much. You can see it's just a little bucket. I don't want to be carrying around 10 gallons of liquid. But you could do a couple of these. You could do the eggshell one. I put the recipe in the ebook for that. That's a really good one. Let it ferment down, get real stinky and stuff. That's like a natural miracle grow. And then I put a couple other ones there as well. So make sure you guys are amending your soil. Do it now, a few weeks before you're planting. All right, guys, have a good one. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.